Hello, my friends. This is Miss Sophia from the Bedwood Public Library. And today is going to be a very quick story time. Miss Sophia is going to read you one of her favorite stories ever. Today I decided to read a story about soup. Today is a good day for soup, too. I love soup. But you know what I thought about? I thought to myself, what if I was a bowl of soup? What would I like to be in me? If I was a bowl of soup, what would I like to be? If I was a bowl of soup, what would I like to be in me? If I was a bowl of soup, if you were a bowl of soup? What would you like to be if you were a bowl of soup? What would you like to be inside of you? So what I want you to do today, I want you to talk to mom and dad or to your teacher and say, if I was a bowl of soup, what would I like to be in me? I want to tell you what I would like to be in me. I would love kindness to be in me. I would love caring to be in me. I would want unselfishness to be in me and sharing to be in me. I would want happiness to be in me, beauty to be in me. All those really great things that makes us really good people. They're like seasonings, you know? All these seasonings that makes us really, when people see us and they talk to us, they say, oh, you were good. Yes, we have. Sometimes we're angry, we're mad, and we're sad. And those are really great feelings too when you know how to deal with them. But to have overall all those great things inside of you, caring, even your anger can't take it away. When you're mad and when you're sad, those things are in you. Okay, so we're going to read. This is one of my favorite stories. This is a different kind of story. It's called Stone Soup, and I love this story. And I'm going to tell you the moral of this story when we're done. Are you ready? Stone Soup by Anne McGovern. There are plenty of people who have written this story, but somehow I like this story. I love the way they tell this, the way she has written the story, and I love the illustrations in this story. You ready? Up and turn this way. A young man was walking. He walked and he walked and he walked all night and he walked all day, and he was tired. He was hungry too. At last he came to a big house. What a fine house, he said. There will be plenty of food for me here. He knocked on the door. Isn't that a beautiful house? Looks like a fun house to me. A little old lady opened it. Good lady, said the young man, I am very hungry. Can you give me something to eat? I have nothing to give you, said the little old lady. I have nothing in the house. I have nothing in the garden. And she began to close the door. Stop, said the young man. If you will not give me something to eat, will you give me a stone? Stone? A stone? Said the little old lady. What will you do with a stone? You cannot eat a stone. Ah, said the young man. I can make soup from a stone. Now the little old lady had never heard of that. Make soup from a stone? Fancy that. There are stones in the road, said the little old lady, and the young man picked up a round gray stone. This stone will make a wonderful soup, he said. Now get me a pot. And the little old lady got a pot and filled the pot with water and put it on the fire. And the young man said, the little old lady did as she was told, and soon the water was bubbling in the pot. The young man put the round gray stone into the pot. Now we will wait for the stone to cook into soup, he said. The pot bubbled and bubbled, and after a while the little old lady said, "This stone is cooking too fast." "It is cooking fast now," said the hungry young man, "but it will cook faster with some onions." So the little old lady went to the garden to get some yellow onions. Into the pot went the yellow onions with the round gray stone. "Soup from a stone," said the little old lady. "Fancy that!" And the pot bubbled and bubbled, and after a while the little old lady said, "This soup smells good." "It smells good now," said the young man, "but it would smell better with some carrots." And so the little old lady went out to the garden and pulled up all the carrots she could carry. And into the pot went the long, thin carrots with the yellow onions and the round gray stone. "Soup from a stone," said the little old lady. "Fancy that!" The pot bubbled and bubbled. After a while, the little old lady said, "This soup tastes good." "It tastes good now," said the hungry young man, "but it would taste better with some beef bones." He's a good juggler, too. You see him juggling the onions and the carrot on his nose? He's a pretty good juggler. So the little old lady went to get some juicy beef bones, and into the pot went the juicy beef bones and long, thin carrots, and the yellow onions and the round gray stone. The pot bubbled and bubbled, and after a while the little old lady said, "This soup is fit for a prince." "It is fit for a prince now," said the hungry young man, "but it would be fit for a king with a bit of pepper and a handful of salt." Remember talking about those seasonings? So the little old lady got the pepper and the salt, and into the pot went a bit of pepper and a handful of salt, and the juicy beef bones, and the long, thin carrots, and the yellow onions, and the round gray stone. "Soup from a stone," said the little old lady. "Fancy that!" And the pot bubbled and bubbled. And after a while, the little old lady said, "This soup is too thin." "It is too thin now," said the hungry young man, "but it would be nice and thick with some butter and barley." So the little old lady went to get butter and barley, and into the pot went the butter and barley with a bit of pepper and a handful of salt, and the juicy beef bones, and the long, thin carrots, and the yellow onions, and the round gray stone. "Soup from a stone," said the little old lady. "Fancy that!" And the pot bubbled and bubbled. And after a while, the little old lady tasted the soup again. "That is good soup," she said. "Yes," said the hungry young man. "This soup is fit for a king, and now we will eat it." "Stop," said the little old lady. "This soup is indeed fit for a king, and now I will set a table fit for a king." So she took out her best tablecloths and her best dishes. And then the little old lady and the hungry young man ate all the soup. The soup made with bits of barley and pepper and salt and beef bones and carrots and yellow onions and a round gray stone. Soup from a stone, said the little old lady. Fancy that. Now I must be on my way, said the young man. He took the stone out of the pot and put it into his pocket. Why are you taking the stone? Said the little old lady. Well, said the young man, the stone is not cooked enough. I will have to come and cook it some more tomorrow. And the young man said goodbye. He walked on down the road. He walked and he walked. What a fine supper I will have tomorrow, he said to himself. Soup from stone. Fancy that. You know what I love about this story? What I love about the story is he was very clever. He was a very clever and smart young man. Although he used a bit of trickery, he was pretty smart in getting him something to eat. He used his mind and said, oh, what can I do? Because I know she has food to eat. She has food in her garden and she has food in her kitchen. Sometimes it's just good to be just kind, especially when you know someone is in need of something and they don't have to trick you into doing it. She'd just been kind enough. She'd known that she would have her friend to have dinner with her, to sit at the table with her, and they can dine and be kind to one another. That's what I love about this story. If I was a soup, what would I like to be? If I was made of soup, what would I like to be in me? I want you to have a conversation today with mom and dad and with your caregiver or your teachers or wherever you are. I want you to have a conversation about what you would like to be in you if you were a soup. And I hope that you are a really great soup. You are good soup, just like I know that you are. Have a great day, my friends. I will see you next week at 10 o'clock. Bye-bye.